My selfish family wants to take my home and give it to my brother, despite kicking me out years ago. I never thought that I would be sharing this story with someone, but I think I really have to. Growing up, I always knew my family was a bit on the entitled side. They had a tendency to think they were better than everyone else and deserved special treatment simply because of who they were. But I never could have imagined just how entitled they truly were until the day they decided they wanted to take my house and give it to my brother. It all started when I moved out of my parents' house and bought my own place. It was a cute little bungalow in the suburbs, nothing fancy, but it was mine. My family seemed happy for me at first, but as time went on, they started to show their true colors. They would make snide comments about how I thought I was better than them now that I had my own place, and how I should be grateful for all they had done for me. Things came to a head one day when my brother, who had been living with my parents rent-free, announced he was moving out and needed a place to stay. My parents immediately turned to me and suggested that I let him move in with me. I was hesitant at first, but I eventually relented and allowed him to stay with me until he found a place of his own. Big mistake. Within weeks, my brother had completely taken over my house. He would eat all my food, leave his dirty laundry lying around, and blast his music at all hours of the night. I tried to talk to him about it, but he would just brush me off and say that I owed him for letting him stay with me. But things really hit the fan when my family came over for a visit. They took one look at my brother living in my house and decided that he deserved it more than I did. They concocted a plan to kick me out of my own home and give it to him instead. I was furious. How could they even think such a thing? I had worked hard for that house, and it was mine fair and square. But my entitled family didn't see it that way. They felt that because my brother was the baby of the family, he deserved to have the nicest things without having to work for them. So they showed up one day with movers in tow and started packing up all of my belongings. I tried to protest, but they just scoffed at me and told me that I should be grateful for all they had done for me over the years. It was as if kicking me out of my own house was some kind of favor. As I watched them load up my furniture and drive away, I was filled with a mix of anger and disbelief. How could my own family do this to me? How could they be so entitled and selfish? But then, as I sat on the curb feeling sorry for myself, a strange sense of relief washed over me. Sure, I had lost my house to my entitled family, but at least I was finally free from their toxic presence. I didn't have to deal with their constant judgment and gaslighting anymore. I was finally able to live my life on my own terms, without their interference. And so, I picked myself up and dusted myself off. I may have lost my house, but I hadn't lost my sense of humor. I vowed to never let my entitled family get the best of me again. And who knows, maybe someday I'll get my revenge in the most unexpected way. But for now, I'll just laugh at the absurdity of it all and move on to bigger and better things. After all, they say that laughter is the best revenge. And in this case, I couldn't agree more.